Hey, this is Danny from Scare Talk. Before we get into all the horror greatness, I gotta let you know about Anchor. Anchor is the host site that we use to record our podcast. Anchor will upload your podcast to Apple and Spotify and many other listening platforms. Anchor is completely free, and you can download the app or go to the website, anchor.fm, and you can record straight on there. There's also some cool editing tools that you can use. Did I mention that it's free? Yeah, so if you want to make a podcast, Anchor is the way to go. Go check it out. Now, for the spooky stuff.
Welcome to Scare Talk, a horror movie podcast for horror fans. This podcast will cover horror movie reviews, ratings, and rankings. Now for your hosts, Danny and Joel.
Yeah, it's Scare Talk. I am Danny, and I am here with the festive Katrina.
Okay, hi.
And
Thinking of adjectives.
the Jolly Joel.
Oh,
You already
that's
used
cute.
that one earlier.
I
but-
said the Holly Jolly.
Oh.
You're not Holly Jolly.
Okay.
You're Joel.
Should
Or
have been Holly Jolly. But
Yeah.
Sorry.
hey guys, what's up?
All right, so
Kind
today
of fit in my catchphrase.
we're going to talk about the best Christmas movie of
Ever.
probably ever, yeah.
Yeah.
Black Christmas from 2019. This will finish up our Black Christmas series. So, Joel, who is in this?
All right. So this one stars, I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing her name right, but Imogen Poots. She was in Vivarium, Pop Star, Green Room, and Fright Night, the remake.
Okay.
Elise Shannon. She was in Beauty. It's a 2021 movie, Beauty. She's in the Charmed reboot.
Oh.
A lot of these people are not in very many things. So Inez and Doug and Kira is a name of a movie.
Okay.
And Cary Elwes. He was in Saw 7, Princess Bride.
Ah, yes, that guy.
Yeah, Robin Hood, Men in Tights, and Stranger Things.
Yeah.
The writer is Sophia Takal. She wrote a movie back in 2011 called Green, and she did Into the Dark. She wrote an Into the Dark episode, I guess you could say. And
Which one?
New Year, New You.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah. And April Wolf, she wrote a 2013 short film called Widower. So,
All right.
and that's all she did. And the director is also Sophia Takal, who directed Green, Always Shine, and Into the Dark.
Okay.
So, yeah.
All right, so this one is about a group of female students stalked by a stranger during their Christmas break. This is until the young sorority pledges discover that the killer is part of an underground college conspiracy. Yeah.
Sounds a lot like the original.
Yeah. There's the
No sarcasm at all.
So the first part does.
Yeah.
A group of female students stalked by a stranger during Christmas break.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But there's a lot more that has nothing to do with
Sounds
Christmas.
very basic
yeah.
plot up until the end of that.
So yeah, this one is neither a remake nor a sequel. I mean, what would you call it?
I would call it the director wanting to make a movie and just stole Black Christmas title.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe
Yeah.
Blumhouse
I think so.
trying to bank on a name. Right.
That's been around since the 70s.
Yeah,
That's it.
yeah, that's what I think. And that's too bad because the original was good. The second one was pretty good, and this one just really ruins the name Black Christmas. Really makes it not scary, not Has no punch
No.
when you watch this movie.
Yeah, there's really nothing about this movie. So,
Go ahead.
from what we're saying already, you kind of know how this is going to go. So.
Did anybody like anything about this movie? Katrina, did you have something you liked?
So
It would be good to get a woman's point of view on this film.
On this movie,
yeah. I don't know if I'm gonna be with the typical woman on the view of this film, or with.
Well,
I don't know. I'm not gonna have the view that maybe you would think I would have as a woman.
Yeah.
this
film.
got a 33% on IMDb, so I'm pretty sure most
Okay.
Yeah.
women are probably on the same.
Okay.
boat.
We'll try not to
Probably gonna
offend
be on-
anybody.
Yeah. We'll try. So here's the thing. I came up with a few things that you could mark as possible positives, just so that I could have some positives to talk about.
All right.
So the one thing that really bugged me, they did end up at least justifying the need for it. I feel like they could have come up with something else. So at one point at the beginning, the girl runs in and is like, I need a Diva cup. I can't find my Diva cup.
Oh.
And then the other roommate has one and gives it to her. And then she decides to just
Right there and there.
use it right there.
Yeah.
Which for some men, maybe some women, you don't know exactly what that is.
No, I didn't know. I had to ask.
And it is pretty disgusting that she's just like, oh yeah, let me put this in right here.
Yeah.
If you don't know what it is, look it up. You'll understand a little better. But
I mean, no matter what even if you don't know what it is, like, it was still like,
Yeah, it
what
was
the
like,
heck
what
is
are
she
you
doing?
doing?
Yeah.
Go to the bathroom.
Yeah. And then, but I did appreciate that at least they tied it all in at the end.
Yeah.
That they justified why she was missing her Diva cup
Yeah.
and why that had to be part of
The movie.
a scene at all.
Okay.
Because I was like, really? Are you just promoting Diva cups? Like, what are you doing? And really, they couldn't have found anything else for her to lose.
Yeah, well, it's girl power, babe.
Yeah.
Girl power.
Yeah. It's a sorority. I mean, of course they're
I'm
going to...
surprised because they did mention a vibrator at one point. I'm surprised that wasn't one of the.
Yeah, well, they already checked that off of their list of things that they need to make sure women are okay with owning.
Yeah.
Anyway, we're getting into negatives. And if you wanted one more positive, I thought the lyrics to the song that they sang was creative.
Okay.
I did think that.
Yeah.
It was a good little song. I could jam to that.
Am
Yeah,
I in the fraternity?
I didn't know.
Yeah.
Like,
Whatever it was.
Which is the song playing at the end credits too. Like, okay.
Oh, is it?
Yeah,
Oh, I
that's
didn't
that
even notice.
version of it was playing. Like, oh, all right.
by the end credits, I was like, all right, turn it off.
Yeah, we didn't
We
get
are
that far. Stop caring about that. Okay. Well, good job with getting
I got
something.
positives. Yeah,
You got more than I got.
Hey.
So, yeah. What, 2?
Okay,
Yeah?
actually, no, I do have a positive because it's just really funny. I laughed pretty hard. So at one point, like the dorky character with the glasses, he goes in and sees that the frat boys have like destroyed his equipment. And he's like mad about it and stuff. And then they come up to him and they're like talking to him and he's like, "You guys can suck a fat fart." I was like,
That was a
"What?"
positive.
Oh, it was so funny. I was like, okay, this, like, you can't write that in and act that and not think it's ridiculous. Like, you can't take that seriously.
Yeah.
You know, like, which, if you're trying to make this a serious movie about serious issues and social problems and things like that, and then you throw that in there, what are you trying to accomplish?
The tone was all over the place in this movie.
So I just thought it was really funny. So I mean, it's really bad but good at the same time.
Yeah. Oh, sorry.
Well, I was going to say that makes me question something.
Yeah.
Maybe the whole idea of it was not to actually be part of this movement, but to mock it. And then are they adding that kind of like you said, writing that, that's like a dumb line.
Yeah.
So then are you just mocking this whole thing?
Right.
Maybe. Was that the purpose?
Maybe.
Maybe that was the purpose.
I mean, it's pretty... I would believe it,
Yeah. Because it was a little too in your face. But go ahead, Joel. You were going to say something.
I just had one positive.
Okay.
Yeah. There was one kill scene with the icicle. And he actually got the icicle and actually stabbed her with it, which was the very first kill in the entire movie.
Yeah.
But I thought that was a creative way of doing it, and not one that we've seen yet. I mean, the 2006 version, she gets killed by an icicle, but it's not. It's one that just falls on top of her. Yeah. It's not one that was actually used as a weapon.
Right.
So,
which then that's like a little bit of a callback. To one of the other. Films.
And that was the only scene where they used the actual telephone ring.
Yeah.
Which was from the first movie that. Yeah. It was really who has a telephone ring on their cell phone. I was going to say that as a positive, but then it was there was no blood after.
Oh, it's PG-13.
So it was it kinda... she made a snow angel. Nice.
Yeah, I know. That was kind of... she's flailing her arms goofy. And legs perfectly into an angel.
Yeah.
As she's dead.
And then she's dragged around and this beautiful angel's left with no blood.
With no blood, yeah.
So I was it turned goofy, so I took it off.
It did. It did. It was just... I had to think of something for this movie, and if this were R, it probably there would have been some blood. Yeah. But PG-13,
you can have blood. So it kind of, especially with the snow and stuff.
Black sludge or whatever.
That's why they had to add that instead.
There was another reference a couple of references actually to the original. So at one point when they're fighting with the frat boys, one of the girls puts a plastic bag over one of the frat guys' heads.
Yeah.
And then also there's a scene where one of them gets a phone call and it's they can't really understand what is happening on the other end. Mm-hmm. So I'm oh, okay, maybe they're going to start getting phone calls,
Yeah.
And then it's just static, and then it goes to somebody, and they're oh, I couldn't hear you.
Yeah.
Okay. And instead of the phone calls, they use text messages, basically.
That you can't read.
Yeah.
Could you read any of them?
Not really. No. Yeah. No, it was very small, and it wasn't even on the screen long enough for you to actually be able to actually see what it is.
You By the time my eyes adjust, I'm okay, it's gone.
Yeah.
The other thing that was like the first movie is the sheriffs did not take her seriously at all.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And that's I remember that from the first.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so there's a message here to the movie that they're trying to portray.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I think this was probably written during the height of the Me Too movement.
Yeah, it probably was.
Basically, there's this fraternity of guys at this college that is part of this rape culture, and one of the frat guys rapes.
Talk about how the fraternity, and I think it was just the fraternity looks like a castle.
Yeah,
where is this college at? That
I know
these fraternities look like old castles.
They do. Yeah, this is Notre Dame, or
yeah,
I don't know. But yeah, so and the fraternity is they worship this guy who is the namesake of the school, and he was all about empowering men and men having power over women, and this is how life in the world is supposed to be. And so this fraternity is basically worshiping him and getting his power, I guess, through this like black sludge or
It turned into a supernatural type movie.
And so, it's all about men are horrible, women are
Yeah.
powerful, and rise up as females and take it to them. So that was kind of the message that they were going for.
Which is, you wanna do something like that? Fine.
Yeah.
Don't attach that type of a story to Black Christmas.
To any movie that is already in existence that's not trying to do that.
Create your own thing, and it's
definitely.
I think that was a lot of people's like biggest problem with the movie is not that message itself, which I think is it's whatever.
You can say it's a problem, Joel.
But it's the fact that you took that message and you attached it to an already existing classic movie that a lot of people. And I think one reason they probably did that was, the last Black Christmas was at this point, 14 years ago or so?
Yeah, 13, 14.
13 years ago. And a lot of people didn't like that movie. Like, it was not a well-received movie because it was nothing like the original. So we're like, all right, well, that story is already... it's been done. The 2006 version didn't do very well, so let's just take that title and add this story to it and make our own thing. But
you can't do that. I mean, if this was titled something different, then I don't think I would have too much of an issue with it. Or I mean, I still don't think it's a good movie, no matter what the title is. But the title just adds to the problem of the movie, for sure. So I think that was, we're definitely talking about negatives at this point. So let's talk about, let's talk about that. Do you want to, you are writing down quite a few talking points here.
Well, well, I was trying to think of like if there's other negatives that I didn't like aside from that part. Okay. That's a huge part of what I was not a fan of.
Yeah.
I also felt like the acting was terrible.
Yeah. Acting wasn't good.
And I did not like that it turned this, like you said, supernatural, like really choose what kind of movie you want to be.
You didn't know what it was.
You need to make a decision, choose a route and do it. You can't just start out as like some slasher movie and then end with this supernatural like now we're possessed by this head, like statue.
And then it was like a war movie, like a battle of
they're having my gosh.
Having this
all the women from the sororities get together at the lab.
and there's people coming out of nowhere and somehow they all can just get out at the same time, but no men made it out and
while it's burning down.
There were a couple guys that got out of there, but they were the ones that weren't hypnotized or whatever anymore. After the destruction of the head.
So dumb.
And then so then it just goes to the obvious in your face message that they're trying to portray. One, that men are terrible and evil, and then that women are overreacting and like when the guy, her boyfriend, ends up turning, he's having this migraine, this headache, and he's getting possessed, then all of a sudden he's drinking a beer and she's like, when did you start drinking beer? Like, oh, you must be a real man now. Like,
he's like, I like beer.
And then he's
Brett Kavanaugh.
And then all of a sudden he doesn't like their conversation, doesn't want anything to do with it. Oh, I'm not interested in that. Like, that's stupid and whatever. So, okay. And now he's not even looking at him. He's putting his back to them. Like, as obvious as they can make it. And then when he's arguing with her, he's like, "You're overreacting. You're hysterical," and like exact phrases that women don't like to be called. You're being sensitive. You're hysterical. Like, how obvious do you need to be?
No subtlety here.
No.
Yeah.
And I think we might be onto something with the fact that they might be trying to mock it. I don't know.
Yeah.
Because it's almost so much that it can be seen as like a satire or like something like that, But I don't think so. I think their intention...
They didn't do a very good job of that, if that's what they were trying to do, because so many people took it as at face value what they were doing.
Yeah. Well, and then when you have a female writer and director, then it's like, okay.
Woman empowerment.
Yeah.
Well, and if you're trying to do that, at one point, the audience needs to figure out that that's what you're doing.
Yeah.
That's what this is.
Right. If you're trying to mock it, you're saying.
Yeah. And otherwise...
Yeah. You just piss
your
people
point
off.
has been missed.
Yeah. Definitely lost the message with how over the top it was.
Yeah. Both ways.
Yeah.
And that cancel culture is in there too. That one of the sorority sisters is trying to get a petition around to get one of the teachers fired. Yeah. Because she doesn't like the message that he's telling. It's like, okay. That's a whole other thing.
Well, and she talks about people of color and things like that. She's like the let's fight the power. She's that person, and then when she can, she's like the one scared. And stuff.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So
not stick to character.
But yeah, there was a lot of just. You're taking advantage of the time and you're writing something to kind of go with it, but you have no artistic way of doing it. So it's just right in your face. And you took a title of a movie that was very well liked in the horror community and well established.
Yeah.
And you made it PG-13, so there's no good kills.
Yeah.
And it's just not even a good horror movie in general.
Yeah.
Nothing good.
It's a supernatural slasher.
And you can't read the text. That was so frustrating.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like, we have a 55-inch TV. It's not huge. It's pretty good size. And we could not read one of those messages. And there was a bunch throughout the movie.
Yeah.
But I couldn't even read any of the words. Like, it could have been up there for 20 minutes. I wouldn't have been able to read it.
Yeah, so it was like, okay, so we obviously needed to see this in theater. Yeah. But even if we had seen it in theater, it still wasn't up long enough for us to read it, even if we could have seen the words.
Yeah.
Because by the time your brain is registering, okay, I need to read this text, the text is gone now. It's like...
Yeah.
I don't get that.
I think I made out like a couple of words throughout the text messages, but yeah, for the most part, no idea.
Yeah.
Could have been speaking another language for all I knew.
Yeah.
All right. So,
is it your favorite movie of the year? Actually, last year.
Yeah.
I mean, suck a fat fart. I mean, that's pretty good.
That was pretty amazing writing right there.
It's award-winning writing.
I don't think I've ever heard that before. It's very original. I'll give it that.
Well, that goes... I mean, obviously it was another... Because it's PG-13.
Yeah.
Can't say
Oh, yeah.
much.
No, that was definitely a PG-13. Like, it's like almost like the writer was like pissed that they had to make it PG-13.
And I
so
wonder
he's like,
why
all right, I'll
they
put this
made
in there.
Yeah. Why'd they make it PG-13?
So more people would go see it.
Yeah.
That's the downside of these PG-13 movies is it's not isolating. Mm-hmm. So kids can go see this movie.
Yeah.
R-rated, it's very restricting that way. But it's horror movies, slashers, not horror movies in general, but slashers need to be R.
Yeah.
There can be good PG-13 horror movies, but this was a slasher. This seemed to be R.
And then you have her sitting there putting her diva cup in right in front of her friend.
Yeah, I know.
Like, that's my biggest.
That talking about
negative.
vibrators, like
Oh my
this PG-13. Okay, like it's not restricting, but maybe it should be a little bit.
I mean, 13-year-olds should be learning that they shouldn't be putting their stuff in front of their friends.
Yeah.
You should be in the bathroom for that.
Yeah.
And oh my gosh. And it was like you're just so obviously trying to like make these things okay for women. Like it was like she had a checklist of let's make sure that we add in this language that we don't like, and this we want to make sure women know that they can own vibrators. We want to make sure they know that they can have diva cups and that it's a good thing. And let's make sure that we add in how much we hate when they call us hysterical and how much they hate when they the professors are about women or not about women, just like they had a whole list. And she just had to check everything off.
Right. Yeah, it was like one thing after another.
Yeah.
And I think it wasn't only men, it was white men too. Because all the men.
The one good
guy was black.
Yeah.
But all the men in it were white. It wasn't. I mean, not that there was like a ton, but there was a good amount. I mean,
there
like
was
10,
it was a whole sorority. By the end of it, it was the whole.
They had their whole chant and ceremony and everything. But they were all white men. So it's like.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah, and then they made sure to have all this diversity in the women.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. It's like, just too much. Too much.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's grade it. Katrina, you can go first.
I give this 13%.
13. Nice.
It was scary bad.
It was very bad.
All right, Joel.
I'm going to give this...
You're going to top that?
Actually, I don't know. I was thinking of 15%, but...
You can drop on that 13.
That means you like it.
Yeah.
That means I like it more than Katrina.
Yeah. And
as a guy, I'm not supposed to like it at all. I'm supposed to give it like a negative 15%.
Yeah, she's supposed to love it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you have to give at least 12 or under.
Yeah. I really should. I'm an 11%. This is literally the worst movie I've probably ever seen.
Yeah.
Definitely the worst one.
Right when we turned it off, I said that.
Definitely the worst one we've reviewed.
Yeah.
And we reviewed Halloween Resurrection.
Yeah. Fantasy Island.
Come on.
And Fantasy Island. Both Blumhouse movies, by the way. I think the scariest part in this entire movie was the Blumhouse production logo in the beginning of the movie.
Definitely. Yeah.
Yeah, I
did shudder at that. Like I do every time.
I was like that, yeah. Okay, so you said what?
11.
11. Dang.
We're keeping with the odd number and low percentages.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll go. I think I've seen worse. But this one was frustrating. It wasn't because I've seen worse acting. I've seen worse story. I've seen worse kills. I've seen worse. But this one was frustrating though at the same time. So I'm gonna go 9.
I was thinking that. Yep.
Gotta keep it odd.
Going down by
odd
2.
Low, yeah.
All right. So guess that's it. We've done all 3 of the Black Christmases. So you want to rank these in order?
Rank them in order? Yeah.
So
it goes right down the line.
They just keep getting worse. Should they make another is the big question.
I want them to.
Yeah.
Because they can't do any worse than this.
Yeah. I would love
I would hope that they can't do worse
remake
than this.
That is true to the original.
Yeah.
That would be cool. I'd want someone to try to recreate that.
Mm-hmm. I think I gave, for ranking them, I think I gave the original, a 91?
90 something.
Wow.
Yeah.
93?
You liked it
maybe?
that much?
We both really liked that one.
Yeah.
And then I gave the 2006, I think, a 73.
Yeah.
And then this one is an 11.
So, same with me.
Quite the plunge.
Same with me. I definitely went down the line, just like you did.
Yeah.
So we need to start reviewing movies that we differ on more.
Yeah.
You know?
Those are the fun ones.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Maybe when we review Krampus, we'll have some differences. We'll see.
Maybe.
All right. Well, this has been Scare Talk.
Sleep tight.
Don't let the diva come.